I want to ask you, 35 years ago, you said the problem of Africa in general and Uganda in particular is not the people, but leaders who want to overstay in power. Now, you've seen that your country has now changed the two-term rule. They've changed the age limit, and there you are going for a sixth term. Why do you think that's a good thing? You call yourself still a freedom fighter. I want to read to you the words of your main opponent, Bobi Wine, young man who seems to have energized young crowds. He basically said in one of his songs, what was the purpose of liberation when we can't have a peaceful transition? Freedom fighters become dictators. He sang that in 2018 in the song Freedom. He has a point, right?
That is wrong.
Case. But here's the thing, Mr. President. There are 54 people who were killed in these in the situation by your security forces in November. Why does he have to campaign in a flak jacket? Why do 54 people have to die?
The 32 of the 54 were rioters attacking security forces.
That's a lie, and I'm going to show you.
In the space of a minute or so, 7 people were shot along this road. At least 4, perhaps 5 of them died. There is no evidence to suggest that any of these people were rioting.
No evidence whatsoever. Watch.
The 4 men seated on the left-hand side of police truck 17 should be easily identifiable by the Ugandan authorities, who claim to be investigating these shootings. From the balcony of an
Now watch this incident. From the balcony, okay?
Apartment, someone used a mobile phone to film one of these groups. They are looking east. Their
Nobody's rioting right there. They're all just watching, okay?
attention drawn by a fast approaching convoy. As it sweeps past, shots are fired and 2 women fall to the ground. The cars don't stop.
Nobody's rioting. This is senseless murdering of people in broad daylight.
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
I cannot appreciate you enough for using your valuable time to always go on social media, break down things for people.
And yes, indeed, presenting to you from these United States of America, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching me. My name is Mordecai Morisa, and you're welcome to Mordecai Morisa Live. Exactly. I hope, folks, you are having fun. Welcome back from the Christmas and Boxing Day. Are you ready for 2026? I think you are, because I am. I want to extend my sincere appreciation to all of you that are subscribing to this feed, Mordecai Morisa Live on YouTube, and then Mordecai Morisa on Facebook, Mordecai Morisa on Twitter or X platform, and Mordecai Morisa on TikTok. We've hit 400,000 subscribers or followers on TikTok, over 100,000 on Facebook, and over 40,000 on X platform, formerly Twitter. We're almost hitting 50,000 on YouTube. Go on and join us. I'll truly appreciate it. So like this video as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be looking at Museveni once again. Mastered gaslighting and lying. Extremely confident in telling lies. Has no respect for human conversations, for interaction. He has no respect. He engages in blatant lies. Unafraid, unrestrained, unbelievable. Okay. Are you ready? Yes, please. Now, ladies and gentlemen, during the lead up to 2021 elections, President Yoweri Museveni, the president of Uganda, found himself under what you could describe as intense scrutiny when he was interviewed on a few events that were going on in Uganda, unfortunate events. And one of the platforms where he was questioned was CNN, when he appeared on a show with Christiane Amanpour. He was confronted by his own words from the 1980s, where he famously declared that the problem of Africa were leaders who overstayed in power, who cling on to that power for too long. Now, cornered by that question, Museveni hastily attempted to rewrite history. He engaged in a revisionist history where he started saying, oh, what I meant was actually folks who stay in power extra-constitutionally. He never said that, but now he's able to amend the words he said in 1980s. Now, the interview really took a very beautiful twist when it became intense, when Museveni was pressed on his continued repression of Bobi Wine. Christian was able to quote a few words from Bobi Wine's songs. One of them is a line where it says, what was the purpose of the liberation when we cannot have a peaceful transition? Freedom fighters becoming dictators. And Museveni was like, no. He went into normal stuff he usually does. Deflection, gaslighting, not only that, unsolicited lectures, and utter and complete confidence in lies. Let's jump right in, and you're going to see here. And I've attached a few videos that are going to show you how he lies without fear.
President Museveni, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Christian.
Thank you.
Okay, listen, I want to start by asking you, 80% of your country is under 35 years old. They weren't even born when you first came into office. And they really seem to want to change. They want jobs. Why do you think you deserve another term?
Well, because I am the one who enabled the 80% to survive.
Right away, the shamelessness. I am the one who has enabled the 80% to survive. How did you do that, creative people?
Childhood diseases, and we have given them education, and we have given them a base for the economy, and we have a good budget, and we can support them. We can support those youth.
So, Mr. President, as I said, they want jobs. Uganda today remains one of the poorest countries in the whole wide world and depends hugely on foreign assistance. I want to ask you, 35 years ago, you said the problem of Africa in general and Uganda in particular is not the people, but leaders who want to overstay in power. Now, you've seen that your country has now changed the two-term rule. They've changed the age limit, and there you are going for a sixth term. Why do you think that's a good thing?
You should check your facts. It is the fifth fastest growing economy in the whole world.
Now, I want to pause here and tell you one thing. He's quoting some statistics or studies where he's placed Uganda as the fifth fastest growing economy in the entire world. I will guarantee you, this research he's trying to quote has been made by some folks in Europe or America. But in this interview, it's going to be like, we don't take lectures from the USA. America or Europe is good when he wants to use it for his own advantage. Oh, I'm going to use this study to show you how good I am. But when America says, okay, I think Uganda is one of the worst when it comes to democracy and respect of human rights, he says, no, we don't take lectures from those people in the West.
You should check your facts. It's about to become a middle-income country.
I don't know how many times they've said that Uganda is going to become the middle-income status. And Magufuli, president of Tanzania, former president, he died after having helped his country reach the middle-income status. Museveni has been beating this drum forever. When is this coming to fruition?
Now, regarding the politics, the management of society, yes, I said staying in power for a long time without democracy. Without democracy. Mark those words.
We don't have democracy.
But if it is the democratic will of the people, because we have got so many things to deal with, if we need all hands on board, then it's correct that we have all hands on board.
You call yourself still a freedom fighter. I want to read to you the words of your main opponent, Bobi Wine, young man who seems to have energized young crowds. He basically said in one of his songs, what was the purpose of liberation when we can't have a peaceful transition? Freedom fighters become dictators. He sang that in 2018 in the song Freedom. He has a point, right?
That is wrong. We have been having transition. We have been having transition by having elections. Every 5 years we have elections, and if the people didn't want to give us a mandate, they would vote us out.
What he's trying to say, that we've been having transition from Museveni to Yoweri Kaguta, from Kaguta Museveni to Museveni Yoweri. It's been from Museveni to Museveni. And he wants to play this game that, these elections have been sort of free and fair. These have been sham elections where folks are abducted. Chiza Besigye is arrested and taken to northern Uganda and is kept in prison, where Bobi Wine is kept under house arrest when the election is going on, where folks are abducted. Campaigning team of Bobi Wine abducted. Many of them are tortured. Others are killed. Are those elections complete sham stuff?
Well, we've seen it. We've interviewed Bobi Wine. It's all over the international press that he has been, attacked. A member of his team has been killed. He is not able to go to big rallies. He's been jailed. How is that fair in terms of a level playing field for contesting the elections?
Well, first of all, we have saved our people from dying in big numbers.
Liar.
From corona. Have you heard of corona?
Again, there he goes. He is always the wisest man. Look at him. Oh, have you heard of corona? I'm going to teach you about corona. What do you mean, sir? He assumes this position all the time that, hey, I am this wise man. Let me tell you about things you do not know. And Christian was like, what's going on with you, guy?
Corona has been killing people and has killed very many people in Europe and in the United States. Here, we have only lost about 300 people now. We have been able to do that by stopping public gatherings. Now, Mr. Bobi Wine was one of the people who was defying that. In other words, causing the death of the spread of the virus.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a lying man. He doesn't care. He's a liar. I don't know how he's so confident with his lies. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, roll the clip. Museveni was observing the standard operating procedures. He didn't have crowds, no people. Roll the clip.
At Busia Main Market, Museveni's supporters gathered outside, chanting party slogans. They barely had masks and violated social distancing guidelines.
But he says, oh, it's actually been Bobi Wine who has been violating these guidelines. This is Museveni. He doesn't even say, oh, if he really cared about, I want to make sure that we fight COVID-19, then he probably would say, I'm not going to be addressing, I'm not going to be holding this event if we have all these people congregating in one area. He would ask them to go back home, but he doesn't care. Rules for thee and rules for thee, not for me. Let's enforce the standard operating procedure when it is Bobi Wine having all these gatherings, but when it is Museveni, he actually comes out of his car, waves at people who do not care about standard operating procedure.
In total disregard of the COVID-19 preventive measures.
Look at that. Then he went on to open that market. Let's go back to the lies of Museveni. I cannot help but wonder how this man is so confident in telling lies. Okay.
That's how he ran into conflict with the law. That's how it all started. And then they tried to blackmail the country by rioting. You have seen what rioting is in Washington. It was not a good idea. those rioters who attacked the Parliament building in Washington.
Now, he's talking about the U.S. politics of how people attacked the U.S. Capitol. He's referring to the event where Donald John Trump was leaving power. But as we go, he's going to be like, I cannot give Americans lectures. But he says, oh, rioting is a bad thing. They attacked the Parliament.
But we are very happy that we have not, our people have not died like they have died in your places.
Well, actually, Mr. President, let me just stop you there, because obviously we know what coronavirus is. You also are holding rallies the same size, if not bigger, than Bobi Wine's. So that's, that's one case. But here's the thing, Mr. President, there are 54 people who were killed in these, in the situation by your security forces in November. Why does he have to campaign in a flak jacket? Why do 54 people have to die?
The 32 of the 54 were rioters attacking security forces.
That's a lie, and I'm going to show you.
That's how they died. It was. I hear you now in the US talking of insurrection, and you are saying insurrection is a bad idea. This was a form of insurrection, and that's how they were suppressed by when they were attacking security forces. There are others, 22, who died through circumstances which we are still investigating.
The UN.
Now, let me go here. Let me show you, ladies and gentlemen. Museveni, complete liar. He doesn't really care. This is BBC's interview. 3 killings in Kampala. BBC Africa documentary. I want you to watch this.
To hospital. Police truck 17 drove.
Said they were rioters, okay? Take a minute.
On. 30 minutes later, carrying what looks like the same crew, it was still patrolling. In the space of a minute or so, 7 people were shot along this road. At least 4, perhaps 5 of them died. There is no evidence to suggest that any of these people were rioting.
No evidence whatsoever. Watch.
The 4 men seated on the left-hand side of police truck 17 should be easily identifiable by the Ugandan authorities, who claim to be investigating these shootings. But almost 6 months after Kamuyat and at least 3 other people were killed, no one has been charged with their deaths.
Up to now, she's talking about 6 months. This is 2025. Nobody, 0, has been charged with the crimes you're going to watch.
Kampala Road was not the only place where the crackdown ended in bloodshed. 7 kilometers away from where Kamuyat lay dead, and at around the same time, young men were burning tires and throwing stones along Ginger Road. Crowds were gathering, scared to venture out, but eager to see what was going on. From the balcony of an
Now watch this incident. From the balcony, okay?
Apartment, someone used a mobile phone to film one of these groups. They are looking east. Their
Nobody's rioting right there. They're all just watching, okay?
attention drawn by a fast approaching convoy. As it sweeps past, shots are fired and 2 women fall to the ground. The cars don't stop.
Nobody's rioting. This is senseless murdering of people in broad daylight. Nobody has been held accountable for these crimes. But Museveni wants to convince you that, oh, they were how does he say it's rioting?
This photo, taken moments later, shows us the faces of the women who were shot. They are sisters, Shakira, the mother of a newborn baby, and Shamim, who was pregnant with triplets. This is Shakira. At the time of the shooting, her baby was just 2 weeks old.
Olunaku olwo Nali ndi mu kutambula nva ku dduuka nze. Nali nva kugula bintu. Natuuka awo okuweta okujja eno ewange. Emmotoka we zaatuuka awo zaali mmotoka 3. Ne zitukuba amasasi. Zaatukuba abawala 2. Naye kati saawa ebiwundu kungulu byakala naye munda tebinnakala nkuba mpulira pain nnyingi.
Her sister Shamim also survived.
Tugaawo ne batutwala e Mulago mu ddwaliro eddene Mulago. Naddamu kutegeera saawa zaali 6 ez'ekiro.
I mean, you can go on and watch this documentary I will show you here. Unbelievable. It's let me show you. 3 killings in Kampala, BBC Africa Eye documentary. Go on and watch it. Amazing, amazing work that was compiled 4 years ago. Now, let's go back to Museveni and his lies.
Says we're gravely concerned by the election-related violence, the excessive use of force by security personnel, as well as the increasing crackdown on peaceful protesters, political and civil society leaders, and human rights defenders. So the UN, that's the UN saying that it's the security forces, and your own security force, I mean, to be honest with you, really shocked me recently, because he said that we are proud of cracking down on reporters. He said we beat reporters for their own good. I don't understand why you keep putting the blame on them when your security forces...
Look at his face. Complete and utter meltdown. He doesn't even know what to say. But he's lied for so long that he has a talent. Of course, it is a perverted talent of coming up with a lie immediately.
...are doing this. And what's the point of it? I don't understand.
We have cameras all over the place. If the security forces are the ones who make mistakes, it is easy to see, to capture and identify. In any case, nobody knows more about Uganda than ourselves. I am here.
Okay, a lot of things to unpack right there. He says, we've got cameras everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 2025. All these cameras that captured people who are rioting have not been able to show us. You have cameras everywhere. Show us. And let us hold accountable those folks who committed crimes, the ones you are investigating. He's a liar. Show us the footage. You have cameras everywhere. This is your claim that you should be in position to show us who was rioting and who was not. Which military officer or police officer committed a crime by killing people, shooting at innocent people who are not even, peaceful people who are not even rioting. Why haven't you done it? But 2, in any case, there's nobody that knows about Uganda more than ourselves. Okay, I truly understand. You got a point right there. But you don't just choose when to know about Uganda and not when you are quoting about the study or the research that shows Uganda is on a bullet speed of growing, the 5th in the entire nation, in the entire world. You are quoting other people who are studying Uganda. Why don't you care? Why don't you be like, okay, we don't care about your reports? Or you care, you think that people shouldn't care about Uganda because they're not in Uganda or because they're not Ugandans when it favors you. But the moment it doesn't favor you, in any case, don't teach us about Uganda. Come on.
I have got a lot of experience.
I have got a lot of experience.
I can tell you who is in the wrong and who is in the right.
Oh, his experience can help you, make you know who is in the wrong, make him know who is in the wrong, who is in the right. That doesn't work like that, Museveni. It doesn't work like that. We have something called the law, okay? The law is able to tell us who is in the wrong and who is in the right. It is not your discretion. Oh, my name is Museveni. Because I'm this experienced, I'm going to be in position to tell you, you are wrong, you're right. That's not how it works. That's why we have something called the 3 co-equal branches of government, the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. And the judiciary is in position to come up with laws, actually, after being debated upon in the parliament, voted upon, sent to you, signed. The judiciary is able to tell us, to follow up. Jeez.
So the UN the UN have got enough trouble spots in the world to deal with.
Are you basically saying you're above the law? I mean, I'm not sure what you're saying.
That's what he said when he says, oh, I can tell you who is in the wrong and the right.
Because, you know, human rights is an international concept. And as you know, Bobi Wine is proposing that the International Criminal Court, which is an arm of the United Nations, investigate you and your senior officials for human rights abuses. There's a 41-page brief saying that police and military have deployed, quote, widespread use of shoot to kill, beatings and other violence. If you have all the images and you're confident of your evidence, will you hand it over for such an investigation?
No, but he's a liar. He's going to say yes.
Of course. We have no problem. We have no problem at all because there's nothing to hide. There's nothing to hide. And by the way, you are dealing with people who know what they are doing.
He continues to talk about this experience. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm very experienced. Then why don't you know when these things are going to happen, the one you claim that happened?
We don't need lectures from anybody really in the world.
Of course, he's playing now that card. Oh, don't lecture us.
What we are doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, President Trump said that in the United States as well. And you saw, as you mentioned yourself, the incitement to insurrection, the storming of the parliament, the cradle of American democracy by radicals and by insurrectionists. I just wonder what your view on that is. What would you say to President Trump about that?
Here is a typical Museveni. Remember, he started, you know, echoing how it was bad to attack the U.S. Capitol and stuff like that. That's what he was saying. Now he's being confronted by the same thing. He's going to run away because he knows, oh, I don't want a piece of Donald John Trump. Listen.
Well, I'm not a lecturer to Americans. They know what they are doing. But
he's a coward. He's a coward. He was using the insurrection when he was trying to drive his point home. But now when he's confronted with that topic independently, oh, I'm not an expert in the American affairs.
Insurrection is insurrection, whether it is in the U.S. or in Africa. You should regard any extra constitutional actions as illegal and treasonable. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to lecture Americans. They know what they are doing.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot go beyond this. This is Museveni, unleashed, a liar, a complete fraudster. Watch here. I will ask you to go in and watch the entire thing. It is Uganda President Yoweri Museveni interview with CNN. I think the YouTube channel is the Front Eye News. That's where it's been posted. Go on and watch the entire thing and look at Museveni telling complete lies. It is unbelievable, the confidence this man uses in telling lies. I don't know. This is a talent that I do not want. I don't want that talent. But he's got a special talent of telling lies without fear. Emboldened, I don't know why. Is it because he's overstayed in power? He's been able to gaslight the entire journalism or media industry in Uganda? That when the moment you ask him, he doesn't really care. And we can go on and on and on and on and look at all these interviews. He lies without any restraint, without any fear of being held accountable. Because he knows, let me appear there. I'm not going to tell no. I mean, I can talk till tomorrow. But hey, subscribe to this feed, Mordecai Morisa. Let me know where you're watching me from. I've always seen folks who say, Mordecai, will you shut up so that we listen? Okay, now I showed you where you can find the uninterrupted interview on that YouTube channel, the Front Eye News. You can go on and watch it without my interruption. All right, I'll talk to you later. My name is Mordecai Morisa. Please stick around. I'm coming back with more as we're headed for these for the election. Museveni has been. I want to believe he's not been interviewed by many international media, and I think it is by design. He's afraid of being confronted by his own criminal record and the continued repression. Onto Bobi Wine and a few others, so he's afraid. I think it is by design. He's told his media team, "Hey, I don't want to appear to BBC." And I've seen Bobi Wine was interviewed by BBC and recently by CNN. Museveni is running away. He's running away. He cannot confront he cannot allow to be confronted by these groups because he's going to be ashamed. All right, stick around, subscribe, like this video. Down in the comment section, let me know what you think. And I'll see you when you see me. For now, bye-bye.
Did you enjoy what you just watched?
I'm sure they did.
I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marissa Live YouTube channel? Thank you.